these are 10 flick ups every footballer should know how to do. So for these flick ups, we're gonna start from easiest to more complicated. However, with a little bit of practice, you should be able to do all of these skills, even if you're just a beginner at juggling. So let's get right into it. The first skill move that looks more complicated than it is, but it's still super simple, is just pull back with one foot and flick it up with the other. Looks a little bit like this. So it's actually really easy. Just gonna break it down. From the side angle, you're gonna drag back with one foot and flick it up with the other. So very simple. It just looks like that. All right, now we have one down. Let's move on to two, which is just going to be the same move, but now we're going to add a little flick down at the end. So it's going to be flick up and flick down with the same foot. So let's take a look at that from the side angle. It's going to be drag back, flick up with the other foot, and then with this foot, you're just going to kick it back down. So it's pretty simple, but it looks really cool. Moving on to number three, we have a super easy classic one, and that's bringing both of your feet together and just jumping the ball up. This is the classic flick up to impress your teammates, especially when you're a beginner. This brings us to number four, which is still pretty simple. You just bring the ball between your feet, roll it up, and you flick it back. So this has 3 different steps to it. If you want, you could do it fast, just like that. But for keeping things simple, we're gonna just put the ball between our feet here, roll it here, and then flick it. So there's 3 steps there. Ball between your feet, bring it here, roll it up, and flick it. Once you practice this a few times, you should get it down, and it's like second nature. So moving on to number 5, we have one of my favorites, and it is this skill right here. This one will take you a minute to get at first, but then it's super fun and simple, and it's just going to be plant one foot and roll with the other foot. So you plant one foot, don't make the mistake of flicking this foot up or trying to do like this, because it's just gonna mess you up. But you just plant one foot, and with the other foot, you roll over. This one you wanna work on a bunch of times until you get it. So I'll show you another angle here. For number 6, we have another beginner flick up here. This one looks cool, looks complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. You're just gonna sit on top of the ball with one foot, bring it to the side, bring it back, and flick it up. Now, the key part here is going to be practicing bringing the ball and being able to roll it back and then flick it up with the same foot. So you're just gonna need to practice this, but it's roll it to the side, flick it back, and then chip it up. Of course, it's a lot easier when you can do this faster, but for the sake of the video, I'm gonna try to do this slow. So it's just like that. I'll show you another angle here, like this. Dominant foot, roll the ball to the side, roll it back, and then flick it up. If you wanna just practice this a few times, you can just practice rolling it back and flicking it up. So I would do it like this. Just practice rolling it back, flicking it up. Roll back, flick up. This one will take you 10 minutes max. Super cool skill, really simple. At number 7, another easy skill for the beginners out there. Really cool one. All you do is bring your feet next to the ball. The point of your toes are gonna come next to the ball, and you're going to flick up at the same time. You're gonna bring your feet together at the same time. It's gonna look like this. The key is bringing your feet together and scooping under the ball at the same time. At number 8, we have the modified Goatee flick up. This skill is definitely for our experts out there. So I'm gonna go over this pretty quickly and we can get to another beginner skill. But this one is super sick. If you can do this, you're a top class baller. So let's take a look at how this one is done. So that was it all together. Now if we're breaking it down, it's gonna be like one of the first skills we did. That was just a simple flick up with both feet. But instead, we're gonna let the ball roll, right? We're gonna let the ball roll and we're gonna flick it up with the same foot. and it's gonna bounce. So we're gonna roll the ball, flick it up with the same foot, and then it's gonna bounce on this foot, and we're gonna go over the ball and pick it back up. So I know that's a lot of steps and it sounds complicated, but you just have to practice each one at a time. So first, flicking up the ball with one foot, and then you need to flick up the ball, and it needs to land and pancake on your other foot. And then after that, you need to bring your other foot back over and catch the ball. And then after you've got that down, you need to put it all together. Now for number 9, we have another beginner skill. This one I like to call the Sombrero flick up. It's because we saw Neymar doing this, but it's slightly different. It's a little bit easier. All you're gonna do is it's just gonna be placing your foot behind the ball, and then you're gonna place your other foot in front of the ball, and it's going to be a flick motion like this, and it's gonna flick the ball over your head. So it's going to be just like that. The idea is for it to go over your head and behind you. Or you can just bring it out in front of you and it's just a flick up that just looks a little bit like that. So it's 2 different movements. First you bend your knee and then you extend your knee. So the ball's gonna come forward, or meaning come back, and it's gonna go forward, and you're gonna flick it back again. So all in all, it's gonna come out like this. Now at number 10, we have an intermediate skill. This one just takes practice. It might look complicated, but all it is a little bit of practice. And to be honest, most of these skill moves just require a little bit of practice. There isn't a whole lot of technical ability difference between all of these skills, even though they might look complicated. Some might look more complicated than others, but it really is just sitting down and practicing them for a few hours. If you put in the time, you're going to be able to do all of these skills, I promise you 100%. And if anyone can't do something, comment below and I'll do another video explaining more in depth that skill. But for the most part, all of these you can do with just some practice. So for the last skill, what we're gonna do is the Rashford flick up, where all he does is he brings the ball and he balances it on one foot, stops the ball, and then he comes around and he picks it up with the other foot. So to break that down, all you do is, again, you have to hold the ball, stop the ball. So practice being able to pick the ball up and stop it on your foot and place your heel onto the ground. So you're gonna flick the ball up, stop it, place your heel on the ground. And once you've done that, if you want, actually it probably helps if you put your hand on a wall at first and then come around and pick it up. You have to do like this. Now, if you have a wall, it helps you balance, but without the wall, you need to just be able to balance on your own and pick it back up. Looks super sick and is actually a lot simpler than you might think. So just hold it, balance your heel on the ground with the other foot, come around and pick it up. So that's gonna be all for today's 10 flick ups to learn as a baller in 2025. If you guys want more flick ups or some other kind of tutorial, make sure you comment below and you let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.